Welcome to the Legion Outriders podcast, your source for the latest Legion news, opinion, and analysis. And now, the Outriders.
Hello, Outriders. Welcome to the show. We are your hosts. I am Matt, and with me is Superman Dan.
Superman Dan.
You're super duper man. How you doing, dude?
No, I'm crazy busy at work, but otherwise
You need to knock that off. You know, it's really cutting into your hobby time.
Well, of course, my work is saying, well, you know, things are getting better, so let's go back to full schedules now. So.
Oh, wait. So you were only working a partial schedule
I was
before
working a
and
partial
still?
schedule.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, I'm trying to get some new training in, and fortunately, they're not allocating me time, so I'm just...
You're trying to better yourself on your own time?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to move from one area of the shop to the other. So.
Okay, the ones away from the customers, right?
Yeah. I mean, the job would be great if it weren't for the customers.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be awesome? They always pick the best movies, too.
Yes.
But anyway, good to see you, dude. We've got a little bit to talk about in the news section. Have you gotten any games in? It was a quiet week for me.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I haven't. I've just been, unpacking that gigantic box of an LAAT.
Yeah, we'll talk about those, but holy crap, yeah, those were some sizable boxes. Mine are still, I think they're taking up storage room in the corner of my garage. I've got two of them, so it's a sizable amount of real estate.
I was going to say, that's all the room you had was in your garage.
We'll have to update the cargo crates for the Outriders to make the oversized ones for the LAAT and AA5 things, but anyways... Yeah, I went camping last week for a couple of days, just enough to throw off my normal weekly schedule for the game, and then I was super pooped on Saturday, so I ended up doing nothing. And then this Tuesday, John, who was my regular opponent, had other plans, so I haven't gotten any games in like a while.
You talking about updating the crates gave me a horrible idea. If we should have one that's waterlogged, full of arcs.
Oh, maybe we'll have little condemned stamps from the canal. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Let's get our people working on that. We got people, right?
You mean me?
Yeah. So
and maybe little Jeff on the side.
Yeah. Oh yeah. El Jefe. Absolutely. But yeah, we'll talk about more about the those kits because they are sizable and there's a lot going on in there. But first off, of course, let's go ahead and stop by the old Star Wars News Center.
Yeah, so Dave Filoni is going to need to get some new business cards.
He does! Which we were talking about this. I was super excited. But you were saying this is just kind of an update to what he was doing anyways.
So everyone not in the know, Dave Filoni's title was updated to Executive Creative Director at Lucasfilm.
Which I believe elevates him to the same level as like Doug Chiang, which is
pretty up there.
Really up there. Yeah. So that's fantastic.
So of course this was quite a buzz on the internet of yay, we're finally getting some people who we like, controlling the creative direction of what's going on at Star Wars.
I mean, it seems like he's been doing a pretty good job so far.
And of course, when people reached out to Lucasfilm for details, Lucasfilm said, what are you talking about? He's been doing this already.
Yeah.
So the official quote was, quote, Dave has been serving as executive producer and executive creative director at Lucasfilm for quite some time now. We simply updated our website.
Oh, well, I mean, come on.
Yeah, so whoever the webmaster is over at Lucasfilm really needs to...
Ooh, is that really what... Oh, man, that's too bad. It's funny because I feel like people are watching his career with great interest.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, yes. So, I mean, and I didn't put this in the show notes, but word is that Kathy's contract is going to be up sometime this fall. And there's no word if they're going to renew it or not. So we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah. It'll be interesting. Strange things are afoot at the Skywalker Ranch.
And, of course, at Skywalker Ranch, Rangers of the New Republic has been moved to no longer in active development. It's a little bit of sad news on that. But, I mean, it makes sense because, this show is, as far as all things known, was kind of written for Gina Carano.
Yeah.
And since, she's no longer with the company, it makes sense to...
I heard a dark rumor. Well, not really just a rumor, a couple of weeks ago that she might be actually welcomed back.
I mean...
Well, maybe not welcomed back.
There's rumors going every direction
because
right now.
They did
We try not to be the rumor podcast.
No, I know, but she was a big part of Mandalorian.
And I mean, I would welcome her back on that. I know Disney never admits it's wrong, ever.
Well, I mean, they did basically the same thing for Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
They canned him and then hired him back.
Yeah.
A Gunn, right?
But James Gunn. But they did it real quiet and real under the table.
So maybe this is it. They're just being even real quieter. But anyways, that's all rumor mongering, I guess. So,
otherwise, really quiet on the Star Wars front. They really haven't been showing off. I mean, also on the rumor side, there's been some set leaks from Andor and some stuff from because of course Book of Boba Fett should be wrapping production soon.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man, they've been really quiet about that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard one thing.
And then of course Andor and Obi-Wan are currently in production. So
need me some Hayden Christensen in my life.
Yes.
Bad Batch. You've been keeping up on that?
Oh yes.
Of course you have. Of course you have.
Yeah. Since this is a longer series, they're kind of doing that slow roll of development.
There's a lot more filler episodes going in instead of just the bing bang boom.
I don't know if I call them quite full filler yet, but I mean maybe that third episode. But well,
that was maybe we'll see some new weapon options for clones.
Yeah.
From the last episode, but not going to say anything else. No spoilers.
Yeah. So that's about it for Star Wars news. There hasn't really been a lot coming out, like I said.
Yeah, I'm still. Have you been getting any time for any Star Wars stuff in? I'm still reading the books.
Oh yeah. Actually, I picked up the older. God, what is the name of that book? I'm pulling up my Audible on my phone as we speak.
I'm reading the second of the Alphabet Squadron right now, and I'm finishing the previous Thrawn book.
Oh, okay.
And then I got to get the new one. I guess Jeff finished that. He said it was good.
Oh yes, no, the two Thrawn books so far were good.
Good.
I've been dipping back into Legends lately just to do it.
Oh, exciting. Okay.
So I picked up the two. Of course, there was the original Thrawn trilogy from Timothy Zahn way back in Heir of the Empire, Last Command. They had two follow-up novels after that trilogy by Timothy Zahn too, Spectre of the Past and Vision of the Future, and I'm working on through those two right now.
How are they?
So not bad so far. I mean,
okay. He's definitely matured as a writer. You know, I liked the Heir to the Empire series. I don't think it holds up quite as well. Did you go through them recently again?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you did.
Yeah.
They still hold up for you?
Yeah, no, they still hold up.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, comparing that Thrawn to like Rebels Thrawn, there's a huge difference there. Yeah. But I mean that's just for their intended audiences.
That's fair. That's fair. It's been a long time since I read those two, but usually this is about the time we'd insert the LVO news, but we've got a surprise guest. LJ is going to be joining us for the second portion of the show, and he's going to be going over all of that stuff with us, and I hope he knows how many days it's left.
Oh, well,
because we're gonna ask him live.
Yeah,
or you'll have the right answer. We'll ask him, but know that we already know the answer, so. So we'll be doing that. But we got some other LVO news.
Oh, yeah. So everyone who had previously registered for LVO 2021, do check your email, double check your spam filters.
Yeah.
Frontline Gaming did send out an email. I don't know, because I know I personally rolled mine over from 21 to 22. Yeah. I don't know if it's just people who rolled over, but they sent an email asking, hey, what did you want to apply your 2022 ticket towards?
Yeah.
Or did you want to do it for different events, for the same events? Things like that. So there's a little poll for Google Forms thing to fill out. So
yeah, I filled mine out. It actually works out perfectly because I had rolled over my ticket, but now I'm actually going to be staffing this year, so I'm able to pass the ticket over to John.
Oh, okay.
So it asked me if I wanted to give it to somebody else. I was like, yes, I will do that. That's perfect because John didn't have his ticket yet. So, and now he owes me, which means I'll get something painted.
Yes. Hopefully he'll be able to bag. Well, I mean, you have your pickup. You can load those boxes up, and take it over to John's.
But make sure that if you did have some credit or tickets rolled over from last year's LVO or two.
Well, not the
previous
one that
LVO, the would have been. Yes. Man, it's living in a time warp. I swear. But anyways, so Dan. Mm-hmm. I've got my storage boxes downstairs filled with things. I'm just going to be breaking the cards out because I'm not building them anytime soon. Because it turns out you don't need an AA5 when you got two T-47s.
Well, I mean, you could still pull the bases out and proxy them if you need to.
I guess so. Yeah. I could probably play with them.
Yeah.
But you've actually built and gotten quite a bit of paint done on your LAAT.
Yeah, no, it's not 100% like I can field it yet. It's still in its major subcomponents.
The watchmaker strikes again.
Yes, I know. I mean, and honestly, there were some things I did skip on. So, building. I mean, this is my first hobby model game. Previous to this, I was, we've said it before. We miss Destiny, don't we?
Do we though?
And I did X-Wing before that, and of course, which is that's a miniatures game. That's not really a hobby game.
Unless you make it.
Unless you make it, yeah. Unless you make
but
it.
you're not like building the ships or anything. No. But
anyways, so yeah, pulling it out and pulling those 7 sprues.
They were big. Yeah, they were big. I'm sure everybody's at least seen pictures now of people, in the Facebook groups.
Right, and of course the instructions included. I mean, this is a known thing from everybody in the community so far who's seen those instructions.
Mm-hmm.
They're okay at best.
Yeah.
And of course with instructions to go see more detailed things on a website that doesn't exist.
Really? They did that again?
Yeah, they did that again. Hey, for more detailed things, go to this web address, an FFG web address, of course. But
I feel like it's kind of like a Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man thing with AMG and FFG. And you're like, I thought you were doing it. Like, no, you're... Yeah.
But I mean, there's another webmaster that isn't keeping up.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. Apparently, it's an easy job. You just don't do it. I'm just kidding. I know if you're a webmaster, I'm sure you work very hard. Yeah. If you're not working for those companies.
Yeah, honestly, once I got the major 5 components of it separated together, yes, I will admit I am chickening out slightly. I'm doing all my doors closed.
Oh, you are?
Not doing the
okay.
interior.
That's
if
fine.
in the future I pick up a second one, I may consider it. But
yeah, there you go. Get a little sliding door.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Jeff did post on his AA5. He's figured out how to make the doors hinge.
Oh my goodness!
So, yes.
Of course he would. Yeah, I was talking to Tumnus the other day about his, and I actually had seen people posting up that they were getting left and right halves of some of the paneling or even the missiles swapped back and forth. I don't know if that's because they look very similar or the instructions are a little unclear. Did you have any issues with that?
Not on the LAAT, because the LAAT, it's pretty clear which side is left and right, because it's not, the pieces aren't really reversible.
You hear that, Tumnus? He says you made a boo-boo.
Actually, I'd like to go back and see what he said he reversed, because I'm curious now.
Yeah, I like I said, I haven't built it yet. We were just kind of chatting the other day, and he was like, oh yeah, I accidentally put on, he said panels, so whatever. Maybe it's the side door or something. Maybe the door reversed. Yeah, maybe. Don't know.
But yeah, no, there are no mirrorable facets that I see on this thing. But anyway.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, I mean, going deeper into it and actually attempting to build, and I'm dry fit everything together.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do all the interiors, actually I found that you don't have to. You can, of course, keep your side doors closed. You can paint over the window. So it's not clear.
Oh, speaking of, Tumnus was also saying that he was going to do chrome on the inside of the windows there, and I thought that'd be kind of a cool effect. I'm curious how it turns out.
So all in all, if you don't have to do any interior detail, if you don't want to, and it'll be, of equal quality of, say, the ATSD or the T-47 out there, which is not bad. Don't get me wrong, but if you want to go that extra mile and paint up the interior and paint up the cockpit, while I did close my cargo area, I am painting up the cockpit. I posted a few pictures on the Outrider Discord. The fun part with the LAAT's cockpit is, of course, the shape of the window. You only really get light from the front.
Oh.
So the top pilot is pretty much obscured other than his boots.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So really the only bottom pilot's visible. So
you just painted the boots?
I still haven't painted the pilots, but I've been lining up.
He's naked, just wearing boots in there. He's flying without the seats of his pants.
Yes. But what I did find is, because it's so dark, I'm actually painting the interior a much lighter shade of gray, because I use Army Painter. I started with Army Painter back when the game came out. I bought one of those 75 paint kits.
Yeah.
And I've been using
so you got all of that.
Yeah. And been with the color matching primer. It's been quite convenient to do that.
Good.
I usually do uniform gray as all my Imperial armor.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to drop it down to an ash gray, just to make the inside details just more visible.
Just
have
to
a higher
pick up
contrast.
the light a little bit. Yeah.
The pilots, I'm still gonna, because they're TIE pilots, they actually copied the exact same sculpt or design from the Inferno Squad kits. So the arm sockets are the same, the head sockets are the same.
Oh, interesting.
Same thing with the clones. They are, at least from other people I've seen inside, you can mix and match the parts on them.
What kind of helmets do they come with?
Just the standard TIE helmet, the same as Inferno Squad.
Okay. Oh, that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was actually thinking, and I haven't put together my pilots yet, but either dropping a spare Gideon or Dell head on my front pilot, just to have him no helmet, just to make it a little more unique.
Just put one of the clone heads on it, just to get you, just in case you want to go for the Republic.
Yeah, no, unfortunately. So yeah, there are options out there to mix and match and mix this up, but really the front pilot is visible.
Yeah,
in the LAT, unless you LED. I've seen some people doing their lighting.
Oh man. Yeah. Jeff was talking about maybe wanting to do. He did the hinging for the doors. Yes. Now he's like, maybe a light kit or something like that. And I was like, man.
I know he's still trying to source a Hera model to put in the cockpit as well.
Yeah. The AA5, LAAT is really cool, and like you said, it's got oodles of detail on the inside. Should you choose to do it, which you choose not. Well, a little bit. I went
50-50. I'm doing the cockpit. I'm not doing the cargo bay. Though, like I said, you can go either or.
It's that imperial pragmatism, I guess. Yeah. But the AA5 is really kind of turned into the hobbyist canvas there.
Oh, yes.
With all the stuff you can do to it.
The crazy stuff. And, I mean, this is just the early quick paint jobs we're seeing. I've seen, of course, A-Team ones. I've seen Mystery Machines. I did see someone do a Star Speeder themed one.
Yeah, I saw that too. It looked really good.
So I applaud you, sir. I apologize. I should have remembered your name and had it ready for here.
Jeez, come on, man. But maybe we can find a link to that for the Facebook page. But you mentioned earlier, and this is definitely something I've heard for the AA5 from both John and Jeff that have built these up, is that dry fitting has been really good for keeping things in sub-assemblies, so you can see how they go together, but then take it back apart, and they hold together really well.
Mm-hmm. So same for the LAAT. I highly recommend, before putting any paint on the dang thing, dry fit it, because you can even see the areas you don't have to even prime.
Oh wow!
There are a lot of overlapping panels.
Are you really that low on primer? You don't?
No. I mean, but and they do dry fit, and the tolerance is quite tight on this. Yeah. So I've been trying to avoid putting primer in between.
Oh, that's
where
fair.
Will go,
just so you can still get it
tight together, or whatever. And the glue surfaces are pretty thin on some of the exterior shell of the LAAT. So I want to keep as much exposed plastic as possible to help with that glue adhesion as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a hobbyist paradise right now with that stuff, and I can't wait to see all the other stuff that is going to be coming out as people spend more time and get it crazy with their airbrushes and freehanding and all that kind of thing.
And I mean, hopefully in the far, far, far future, if they reissue the ATST or the T-47 with cockpits or canopies with detail, that could be awesome.
I think I will cast your mind back in the theater of the mind's eye. You remember that giant mural they have inside the Star Tours building with the star speeders going through the purple space? Yeah. And then there's I think it's the Endor moon or something.
Yeah, I've got some high res photos of that I've been using.
Wouldn't that look good on the side of an AA5? I mean, how's your freehanding, bud?
No, not that good.
Not that good.
Not even near
come on.
that good.
Yeah. Well, give you something to shoot for, but that'd be kind of fun. But anyways, I'm sure we'll see some more great stuff in that real soon. But we're going to go ahead and take a short break, and we'll be back with the belle of the ball, the great leader himself, LJ Peña, going to be joining us in just a moment here.
Judge.
Hey guys, Matt here to tell you about our friends over at 6UP Supply. If you're like me and don't have access to your own 3D printers, 6UP Supply has you covered with a whole suite of printing services to bring those awesome files to life. The Outriders are proud to be partnered with 6UP, and you could find special themed terrain, gear, and tokens with a big discount for Patreon members in the Outrider Central section of the website. And that's not all. You can also get terrain bases, game supplies, tools, LED kits, and more. Stuff is being added all the time. So stop by the number 6upsupply.com and use coupon code OUTRIDER to save 10% on your next order, and let them help you up your game.
You are receiving the Legion Outriders podcast. Ending the transmission now would be most unfortunate. And now, the Outriders.
Welcome back, Outriders. Matt and Dan here, and we're joined by a very special guest. Mr. LJ Peña is on the comms. He is a member of Team Relentless, the captain of LVO, the captain of the ship over there, AMG Rules Forum what, moderator? Is that's your official title?
Moderator.
Oh, okay. A Legion Discord admin, Frontline Gaming Legion coordinator, basically the entire Senate on Facebook, and also the Invader League kicker-offer coordinator and maintainer. And also, I'm pretty sure nobody knows what LJ actually stands for, so I say it stands for Legion Judge. It's Mr. Peña. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I am super excited to be back on Outriders, this wonderful for this wonderful cast.
Thank you, bud. It's been a while. We were reflecting that it had been so long since we actually got to talk to our the one that got away. Well, we hooked him back, so here it is. And we've got quite a bit of news to go over because just because everybody else has been kind of in lockdown doesn't mean you haven't been moving and shaking behind the scenes there. Specifically, we've got updates on the Legion Tournament Circuit website that is a great community resource that you guys are redoing right now.
Yeah, we've been busy in the background because I knew that we wouldn't have to do a work for a little while given the world situation, and so we took that opportunity to take a step back and maybe reevaluate some organization and kind of what we wanted to display and what my focus really was with that website. And at the same time, I kind of realized that a lot of people that maintain different aspects of that website were all located on Team Relentless, which I had, by that time recently joined. And so I made the decision to move it over to our Team Relentless website, which is Team Relentless Tabletop for anybody that is interested, where we host a variety of content. And, we have some articles and some links to some streams that we do, as well as now the Legion Tournament Circuit stuff. So,
Awesome.
Before I get too far, many thanks to Jay. He was the one who had hosted the website originally for me and allowed me to get off the ground. Huge help for the last couple of years. So, thank you, sir.
Yay,
for
thank
that,
you, Jay.
That assistance, because we wouldn't have been able to start this thing without you. And, hopefully it's a bit of a load off your hosting costs having one more website out of your way. And, I did get a couple questions about there was a like a chess elo ranking that John Bushman had maintained that was on the website as well. And because he's a member of Fifth Trooper, that's actually going to eventually migrate to their main site once he's got that all back up and running. So for those of you that had asked me, hey, are the rankings going to stick around? What's going to happen to the rankings? They're all in John's hands, and hopefully we'll see them up on Fifth Trooper here soon.
Okay.
But yes, we do have some updates, as you had kind of alluded to there. We, as I said, we moved a bunch of the stuff over, so you can still find some recommended formats if you're running a tournament for the first time and you're wondering, hey, how do I get this thing off the ground? What's the best way to run this? There's still that information on there. We've got a link for the TO toolbox that has a bunch of stuff there as well. It's got things like match slips, cheat sheets for terrain, the link to how to use Tabletop TO, which is a popular resource that a lot of TOs like to use, as well as the ever popular community locator. If a Legion community has popped up near you, please fill out the form to add it to that tracker anywhere in the world. It's not just a US tool. And if you're listening to this cast looking for a place to play, you can use that resource to help find a group. And then, of course, there's the 2019, 2020, and 2021 tournament data that holds the winners and the locations of events that have been held for the last 3 years. And there's also a little button for you guys to report your own tournaments. We're trying to keep it to things that are 16 players or larger, maybe 12 to 16, I think is what our agreed upon bracket was. Before it was just official stuff, but because official play has not returned, as long as you have a big enough group of people, report it, because we want to see that data. We want to see what people are playing now that we've had point changes, we've had new things injected into the meta. We've had rule updates and all that good stuff. We want to see what people out there are playing. So please send in those tournament reports. It's going to have the big ones that are happening across the sphere, like the Dallas Open that just happened that was ran in Texas. That had 36 players, and you can see the top 4 from there. and then there are 5 different frontline gaming events that are
That's huge.
occurring over the next 6 months. We went from 1 to 5 events because of how awesome LVO has grown over the last couple of years.
That's still astounding to me that we can have a community that's still thriving after having such, basically hibernating for that long. But I guess people are marshaling their forces and, getting things painted up and done and getting ready and dreaming and wish listing and all that. And now we've got just an explosion of events coming our way.
Yeah, they, to give credit to Frontline Gaming, they really kind of took a step back and saw all this event space that was going for very cheap prices.
That's right.
Yeah.
And thought to themselves, how can we really invest in ourselves? And they bought like 3 to 5 years worth of event space at these various locations that they are running their cons at for the foreseeable future. So you've got the Atlantic City Open, which is the 11th to 13th of June, the Lone Star Open, which is the 23rd, 25th of July. That's another Texas one.
Hell yeah.
The SoCal Open from the 23rd and 24th of October down here in San Diego. The New Orleans Open, which is December 9th through 11th, early December there.
Can we get a translation for that one?
The New Orleans Open?
The Nolans Open, yeah.
And then the Las Vegas Open, January 28th to the 30th, local to our Outriders. I know. You've been there once or twice, I believe. I mean, it's all kind of hazy at this point for both of us,
true.
I think. But, yeah.
Not
really,
hazy due to time, hazy due to, the cash bar.
Yeah. Oh, man. What a homie at that cash bar. Yeah, so I mean, just really, they did a good job in opening up the space for Legion to return, and they have a new guy that's kind of championed that, and he reached out to us, and, he really tried to get some other TOs for some of the other FFG games involved. And, for the Lone Star Open, it's like 40K, Age of Sigmar, and Legion. Like, we're starting to that's it. Like, wow. It's not like they're not running much other stuff. So like a lot of these other smaller games that you'd see at, like an LVO, Legion is coming out on top of these by getting ahead of this scene right now. And really, the reason why we're putting so much blood, sweat, and tears into this process right now is because we're setting up the groundwork for these events to hopefully be official qualifiers when Atomic Mass Games, returns to running organized play. When we return to some semblance of what we had before under Fantasy Flight Games, and even if we don't, even if it takes Atomic Mass longer to get that up and running, the system is going to be in place, and by the time it matters, tested to support an organized play circuit like we had previously. And I know Legion Tournament Circuit was very inspired by what Frontline Gaming does with the ITC. There was a reason the two are named about the same, because I was very impressed with what Reese did with that and what he turned it into. And, I think from a sanity standpoint, we don't want to have to run a circuit like they do. That's just like, I consider that to be AMG's problem. I want them to do it. But at the same time, what we want to do, and what we, I think, have started to do, is we want to build the infrastructure so they can come in and occupy the space as soon as they are ready. And I hope that they are ready, because we are.
Yeah. Damn, dude, I'm inspired. That's it. Let's go. I'm packing my bags. Well, I'm actually already planning to go to the Lone Star Open and then SoCal Open, because it's just kind of quick little drive for us. You are still the man in charge of LVO, but does that mean that you're going to be able to travel to some of these events yourself and actually play?
I am, believe it or not, going to play. I was really hoping to pack my bags and head on over to ACO, but that is during my annual training, unfortunately.
You got your Army responsibilities.
And so, because I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks and leave my leave my wife with our just about to be 1-year-old.
That's right. Happy birthday to little Peña.
Little Dylan is he's only a couple weeks away here, so we're actually doing a little shindig for him tomorrow because I'm going to be gone during his actual birthday. So yeah,
that's
really
nice.
really excited for that. And so I pitched Lone Star to her, and she's like, "Wait a sec, you're going to be gone for 3 weeks in June, and then also try to go to Texas at the end of July?" And I was like, "Well, maybe it's better for my health that I don't." So I was like, "Okay, fine. What about SoCal down in San Diego?" And she's like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, that's no problem." So
Yay! Okay.
I actually I talked to some of our wonderful San Diego locals, Lance and Michael down there, and there's so many folks down there. They have such an awesome freaking community down there.
Yeah.
There's another guy, Peter, that's helping out as their head judge, and they are going to run that event, and I'm very excited because I think I'm going to bring some tables to help them out. But I am rolling dice.
Oh yeah. I should
at
see if I could
SoCal.
bring some out too. But do you know what the venue is that they picked for that?
It's at the Del Mar Fairgrounds, I believe it is.
Oh, okay. I think I had seen that. Yeah. So yeah, that's a big area.
Yeah, I'm. I think it's gonna be so nice not to have to run an event and just be able to let those guys do it because they're just so good at running stuff down there in San Diego.
Yeah.
I personally can't wait. Like that's like the highlight of my fall already at this point is being able to go play in an event again and really see what they create down there, because for those of you who aren't familiar with the San Diego crew, they create like the coolest alt art cards down
Yes,
there.
they do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I am so excited to see what they come up with for this.
Yeah, they've always. I think I was mentioning that again because that was like one of the last events I did that was kind of big. Was down in SoCal, and they just killed it with all the little extra bonus swags and cards and stickers and all that kind of stuff. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I can't wait to go back again. I'm calling a prediction now. Me and you, top table, as I watch whoever it is that you're playing there.
Oh man, I would be so thrilled to do well again. I'm going to admit for a moment that I cheated on Legion. For those of you that have been, I've posted about it a little bit, but I have been going back to my roots this last year, and I have been playing some 40K.
What? Well, it just makes you appreciate the superior rule set when you come back.
Trust me, it really does.
I
spend most of my time during 40K games talking about how much I enjoy Legion. So there's a weird correlation there.
But trying to recruit people. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You were a deep operative out there trying to bring people over from the Grimdark.
There was a shop in Pasadena that had an event last month in April that I went to. And it was like a 16-person 3-rounder thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually ended up in the top 5. It was 3rd or 4th place that I got, and like I miss like the rush of playing in an event, because there's certainly like an endorphin rush that goes along with it, and just playing tough opponents, putting in the work and really thinking about what you're doing, and and just having those, like, because I think 2 out of 3 of the games that I played were down to the wire, last roll, last turn kind of games.
Wow.
And I just really missed that, and doing it in person, because as much as I love and enjoy playing games on TTS, it just, there's nothing like playing in person. And so I, no matter what happens, I think I'm going to enjoy myself. And, if I do get the chance to do well at that and play my way to a semblance of a top table, I think that would be awesome. And I definitely miss that kind of play, because I think I'm starting to accept my role as more of a strategic advisor than than that guy that went to Worlds that one time. And like, I'm very happy to be able to do that and continue to facilitate these events. But you do miss it. You do miss being on the tables, rolling dice, and playing the game. So,
instead of just talking about the game, actually playing the game.
I know, weird, right? To actually play Legion.
Yeah. Well, dude, that sounds really good. Any idea what army I should start teching against? What do you play? What would you bring?
Oh, it's droids. It's for
Back
sure
in the
droids.
droids.
I will admit to the world that I did sell my Imperials, and that's because when
Wow.
I
Dan,
know
you
I
can't see
know.
Dan's face right now, but it is. I'd never seen the word crestfallen before, but I'm seeing it now in real time.
And it has nothing to do with like the current state of Imperials, which I'm sure we could debate and talk about for hours.
Great, let's get into it.
And everything to do with when I was overseas when I saw the first like box for Legion advertised on the internet, and I was like, they're going to make droids one day, and I'm playing this game for the droid faction. And I had Imperial things that I absolutely loved, and I don't regret playing the faction whatsoever. But when they previewed what droids were going to look like at Adepticon 2019,
Oh yeah.
I put the money aside in my savings account for the core sets. Because I was just like so excited. I mean, and I'm part of a weird, generation where I watched Empire so many times with my little brother. We burnt out 2 VHSs.
Wow.
Nice.
But the Star Wars movies I saw in theaters were the prequels. And so that, every time I put my B1s on the table, and people who watch me play this, or watch me play, they know this, I sing that, march when the droids were first walking across Naboo.
Oh,
And,
that's a good one.
and I love to make quips while I'm playing, Darth Maul or, running around with the B2s. And I just love droids so much. And
So when you're getting ready to charge into Luke Skywalker or something, you're like, at last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
At last we will have revenge.
So
And
Matt,
yeah,
you need to tech Ion, you need to tech Flamers.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yes. And
Roger.
that would be a good move because I've got a sick AA5 list I was going to bring to SoCal.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that wouldn't, yeah. I don't think, a slightly flame-broiled AA5 would do a whole bunch there.
No, but it's going to be the droids. It's got to be the droids. It's going to be the droids.
Aw.
I just got a bunch of them back from a very good friend that painted some for me, which I highly appreciate because that's the one thing I've never quite mastered. And with the baby, it's been so hard on the time. It's been painting stuff, and he did such a great job. I've got some commando-ish B2s. They're jet black with some blue highlights. They look really cool.
Oh.
I do have 3 commando squads. One is all shields, one is all swords, and one is all double guns.
Nice.
Those came out.
Yeah.
Those came out awesome. Darth Maul came out great. We got transfers for the AAT, so they got the CIS logo on the sides.
Nice.
And locked dirts in the top. It all came out so good. I'm so excited. And the other thing I want to do, I would like to run some B2 squads with the TAC droid in it. And I've got a bunch of CIS generic leaders now. So what I want to do is I want to run. Kyle has a 3B2, 3B1 Maul build that I really like, and I want to run that. But each tactical droid in the B2s, instead of being a tactical droid, is a different CIS leader. So it's Lockdurd, one of the Nemoidians, and Admiral Trench.
Nice. Okay.
Are the TAC droids, and then a TAC droid is the generic commander. That way you don't get them confused.
Nice.
And so I think that'd be really cool to see on the table, would be to see all these like low-level CIS leaders tromping around on the field being escorted by B2s. Like, I just think that'd be cool.
No Riff Tamsin?
Maybe Riff if I do the 4th squad.
Nice.
So that's
awesome.
my hope, is that I can pick up a couple more B2 squads and make that happen before that. I think I'd like to run something with B2s and Maul, just because they're so fun to put on the table, and they just look so good on the table.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of B2s being used. I've only got a single squad myself. It's just the order control if you're running multiples, but I guess you've got ways around it with your upgrades there.
Yep, tac droids. That's what they're there for.
Maybe that's what I need to double down. No, I'm playing Rebels right now. We're in Rebels. Gotta stay focused. Much as I hate that. Dan, have you recovered from that shocking Imperial news?
I got the vapors.
Swooning a little bit over there. But that is freaking fantastic news all the way around. I'm definitely going to be locking in. We're probably going to put in the Legion tournament circuit to our normal news cycle because, hey, if you're gathering all the data for us so we can shout out, the big events coming up, that's easy for us too.
Yeah, and that's something that I think people will really look forward to as, again, metas open back up and people start putting real plastic on real tables is, hey, this was the top 4 at the Atlantic City Open. They played these factions and these were the generic lists they played. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I think people would look forward to. And you've basically got content every single month to push out now. So
hooray!
Hooray! Regular content!
Yay! Oh, man.
Well, what did you talk about on your Star Wars news section at the beginning of the cast? Are you guys still doing that?
Yeah. I was just, Dave Filoni, needing to print new business cards.
I was going to say that can only sustain for so long on a Legion podcast.
Right.
Yeah. Of course, with events coming up, we're really excited for LVO.
Are we?
I am.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Everybody should be. I know you're hooked in a little bit over there. Do we have any idea when we're going to start getting article releases again from like AMG or FFG or however that's working out?
From my understanding, I think we're still kind of riding the coattails of FFG.
Okay.
So I would expect for the foreseeable future to continue to watch those be pushed out through the same channels they've been pushed out from. Like,
that's good.
I think we're experiencing the same kind of content drought we had in previous years because they like to do that March dump where they'll show a bunch of stuff and then it'll take a while to get the articles and stuff, which I know for people can be kind of tough because you want to get excited, you want to see more, you want to get hyped, and then you kind of have to wait a little bit. And I think that there's going to be so much more that AMG is in control of that FFG is still pushing out. I think that's just going to be, I would personally expect that to be the norm for a little bit longer as AMG continues to take the reins because I think people don't understand how much work goes into taking over Legion, Armada, and X-Wing while still producing Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yeah, and it is still a relatively young and small studio, and sometimes, we're focused on Legion, obviously, but they do have a lot of other really big properties that's in their control now.
Well, yeah, the studio was 8 or 9 people, and now it's 40 people.
Oh, wow.
They have grown so much to support this expansion that they got from Fantasy Flight Games, and they told us very early on that we should expect to see, a new AMG website redefined in the second half of the year. And it's not the second half of the year yet.
Oh, okay.
So I think
moderate your expectations.
Right. I think once that happens, that's when you're really going to see the articles and the big stuff coming back. And cool. I think that'll be really nice. Once we finally get to that point, it'll feel okay, transition over. Let's see what AMG does with this, because you got to realize everything you're going to see for the next year and a half at least is still Fantasy Flight Games stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so they haven't really gotten a chance to get in there and make their mark.
The production cycles for games like this are just, they're very long from concept to table. And so, I think for a while, just continue to taper your expectations a little bit because, it takes a while for that handoff to complete. And also, AMG is trying new stuff. And I think their focus is honestly a little different than what we've seen Fantasy Flight Games. AMG really is about the painting streams. the narrative events,
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that we saw with like unconventional warfare, with the alternate formats, and the different challenges and perks and other stuff like that. That really seems to be their jam. So I think you've got, not only are you going to see a change in ownership that's going to change production and the way that you view the game, but I think you're going to see a change in mentality a little bit too, just based off what we've seen so far from Atomic Mass Games and the way that they like to produce their content. And I personally, like, I will say, as somebody who runs an outlet for people to talk about the game, this is me purely talking about what I see on the Legion Discord.
Mm-hmm.
We changed the way the Discord is organized to match what I was seeing from AMG. We moved up the faction chats and we made them open to everybody. We moved up the creative section that has the hobby Q&A, the show off your models, the homebrew, all that. And we're seeing a lot of really positive interaction from the community around those things. And I think that's why Atomic Mass focuses on it, because the interaction for the most part has been very positive, and there's been a ton of content creation from the players. And it really, I think it's just it makes sense. People want to be recognized. People like to show off what they got.
Mm-hmm.
And we're starting to see that be encouraged by Atomic Mass Games through the prep the battlefield stuff they've been doing on their social medias. They've been showing off armies that the staff have been painting and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, actually, Jeff, our local Mr. Hefe, he got featured on one of the streams with his Mandalorian squad. They put up a picture of his for the Gathering Forces?
Yep.
Yeah, the Gathering Forces. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of thing that, like, I think they're really going to focus on as time goes on. And to be honest, like, I love it. I love that they're pushing that, because it's creative, it's positive, it's just nice.
Yeah.
I think.
And by no means are they going to be like ignoring like the competitive side either. When they eventually get spun up, we're still going to have big winners, big players, big names out there doing that. But because the focus is a little bit shifted in favor of like the hobby painting, community building kind of aspects of it, it's automatically just a bit more inclusive, because you can get people in there and like, hey, like you said, showing off what they're doing and ideas they've got. And it's just, I think, a much more fluid, interesting community to be a part of.
Yeah, and frankly, I think it was the right move, because like, how much tournament competitive stuff were you going to talk about over the last year and a half anyway?
Yeah, right.
Invader League, and
yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, there's Invader League. Yeah,
you've got you've got Invader, Yavin Base, and then the echoes of things to come in the future. Like, and it's not like they can acknowledge the first two, because TTS doesn't exist. Don't talk about Fight Club.
Right. Exactly. Fair point.
True.
Yeah.
It's like, TTS is a fantastic tool that I use for Dungeons and Dragons and Edge of the Empire, and nothing else.
They're actually doing us such a big favor by just turning a blind eye.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you. I don't know what you're talking about.
So I'm, to really answer your question, like, I think we're going to see a lot once the transition is fully handed over. And I think the stuff that they're focusing on right now is important and valid. And once we're ready to go, the gears are going to start turning, because let's not forget the people who started this studio and the profound impact that they had with one of the tightest competitive systems that people had seen in years through War Machine.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was the one like silver lining from the the declaration of the dissolving of the Senate in FFG studio. It was like, well, at least it's actually kind of a cool empire that it's reforming as, because like I've said multiple times, I'm a fan of the guys that were coming out of the Privateer Press side of the thing. They had a really good, as you said, competitive rule set. It was very tight, and they're veteran designers. And I think they're, of all the hands they could have ended up in, we couldn't have done much better there.
Yeah, I'm bummed we never got to see Marvel Crisis Protocol really thrive in person, because like Adepticon 2020, they were going to do like big events, or they were going to do, you know, events and stuff for that game, and that one was one of the first that was canceled. And so like there have been some things that they have done that have made me really hopeful for Legion, and like I happen to be lucky enough to be part of the one that I really wanted to come to this game, which was the rules forum. Like that was the rules forum was something that like as a TO I was dying for, because of, you know, how slow it took things to get through the old system. And like it was good, we got answers, but like, you know, you had conflicting answers and email chains and stuff like that. And like
the Wild West.
you know, and like there are people that like don't like the forum because you get instant feedback. And then I think to myself, wait a sec, the feedback is too good and it's a bad thing. And like it's been so refreshing as a TO to have that resource. And like even if I didn't get involved in it the way I got involved in it, it's still such a great resource.
People are actually complaining.
Surprisingly, were complaining a little bit, because
I was going to say, I think overall it's been very well received.
Here's the thing, is that Legion works a different way in a developer's brain than in a player's brain. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because like they literally made the game and the rules, and it works that way in their head. However, because we all speak the same language, mostly, it can be interpreted in a different way, because words mean things. And unfortunately, the language of game development can get a little finicky.
Yeah.
And you have a rule as it is written and a rule as it is interpreted. Those are the two big things that come up. And so if Luke Eddy feels like a thing should work this way and the rules don't support it, if he makes the call for the rule to work that way that he wanted to in the first place, even if it goes against the way the rule is written in the interim, I think we should do what Luke wants, because it's how he intended the game to be played.
Yeah.
And why would you not want to play the game the way he intended it to be?
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
It was all balanced, whatever it is, around, you know, that rule or whatever being interpreted in a certain way and employed in a certain way on the field. Otherwise, it could throw off, you know, balance and interactions and all the other stuff that was intended.
Right. And I think the qualms comes from a ruling being put out because they have the question and answer format and not being updated on the rules correction thread that exists there. So like the Bible is not updated to match the scripture kind of thing.
Okay.
And like that was like what I think irks like people that like are really into rules and get their enjoyment from knowing a rule set and, you know, using that rule set. And I understand, like everybody derives happiness out of Legion in a different way.
Yeah.
And I don't dislike people that want it to be a clean rule set. Obviously, that's what you're shooting for, right? But if there's like a lag in time where, you know, the great scourge of the competitive scene, Palpatine, has something going for him finally that doesn't quite match the way the rules read in the RRG, that, like, to me, that is an acceptable casualty. Because, like, how often in other games is something broken for 6 months to a year?
Yeah.
Versus, like, this system that allows us to step in and be like, oh, wait, no, that is a legitimate problem. Let's issue a correction and fix it 2 weeks later. Like, it's 2 weeks in a time when tournaments don't even exist yet, guys.
Yeah, and we've stated before that, you know, official documents like RRG updates have to be rubber stamped by Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And that process is not fast.
And that's the other thing that really made things, I think, a positive change for the better, is that, you know, all of the rules forum stuff doesn't have to be run through another entity like that. The RRG still has to do its usual process, but we can put out RRG updates and people can use them and play with them while it takes time for the actual document to get that final update, which I think is super nice. I'd love to, and I will put it out there that the rules forum is not used this way. And we do not, and like, I do not intend to use the rules forum as this way. But like, I think it's also a golden opportunity for us to test things and be like, yeah, this is a rule that we would like to see make it into the actual rule book. Let's rule it this way or update it this way for a while. And if we hate it, we can change it before it makes it into the real book. Case in point, we changed how speeder works. The way that speeder worked before, you could only go up and down levels equal to the value of speeder. So like if you have speeder 1, you could go up stairs and then you had to go downstairs. But now with the way the RRG speeder entry works is you can fall off those stairs. You can slowly walk your way up height 3 and then jump off height 3 and without having to go back down the stairs, if that makes sense. Like that's like a change that like is something that maybe after much playing and testing, we hate it from a balance perspective, but it hasn't made it into the RRG yet, so that they, then we decide, okay, that just doesn't make it the RRG, cut it, never mind. And I think that's something that is unexplored and hopefully will be something that will be used more in the future.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I need to spend some more time over there. Actually, we could probably have like a weekly report on the things that are going on at the forums. Hey, more content. That sounds great. But wow, that is a lot of Legion information laid down right there. How do you keep it all in your head?
I don't. It's all on a rules forum with the search function.
There you go. Okay, there it is. So you don't have to keep it in your head. You can just go check the rules forum.
If I ever, like, and I say this to people all the time, if you ask me a question or respond to something on, like, the Facebook or the Discord, like, if I make a ruling and it's wrong, it's because there is so much to keep track of. It's a lot. And, like, that's, again,
You're
another reason.
You're not infallible? Holy crap.
I know. Weird. And that's another reason why, I like this resource, because, like, we can tag things and you can, like, look up things related to your quarry really easily. So like, I had a question about dodge, and there's also 5 other interesting things about dodge I just learned by searching that term. And so that honestly has helped me a lot, because like I will forget that I made a call or answered a question a certain way, and I will just search it up really quick and be like, oh yeah, that's the call we made on that issue, and move on with my life. Or, a lot of times what's been really nice is I've just shared that post with the person.
There you go.
And been like, is there an official answer on this? Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but yes, there is. And it matches my interpretation to the letter for some reason.
And also toot.
Yeah, and also toot a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's kind of a fun, bit of nerd cred to be able to say you do this kind of thing.
No, absolutely, and I wouldn't want to be tasked with that kind of responsibility. Dan, you'd probably be able to do it okay. You've got a crazy brain for it. Yeah, maybe
you're
just
not
a crazy
wrong,
brain.
But
well, LJ, dude, thank you so much for all that wonderful Legion info. Do you have anything else you would like to plug, shout out, or draw attention to at this time?
That depends. Would you like to talk about what will be happening at this upcoming LVO?
I would
absolutely love that. Oh yes, because we've also you've got a challenge for players as well, man.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with this next LVO, because like always, we want to grow, we want to test new stuff, we want to see how different formats work, and so we're going to try something that we were attempting last year but didn't quite work out because we had to cancel the convention. And so we've got technically 4, but 3 different main events that are happening at this next Las Vegas Open. So just like we tried to do in 2021, we've got the main event, the championship. And unlike the previous year, we had done a 64 heat on Friday and a 64 heat on Saturday. Mm-hmm. 4 rounds of Legion goodness from 8 a.m. to 9:30 at night. I think it was 10 o'clock.
I
They were
remember
long,
that. It was a
long days.
Yeah, it was a fun day, but a long day.
And that meant that me and my staff weren't getting out of the hall till 11 o'clock at night, which was a lot. It was a long event. And so what we decided to do was we're putting everybody together on Friday. 128 players will be able to duke it out on Friday, the 28th of January.
Holy cow.
Except it'll only be 3 rounds. Because
Okay.
the way this format works, if we put everybody on the same day, is we can have a 3-round event on Friday, and then everybody with a 2-1 record will advance to Saturday.
Ooh.
So
Alright,
the other nice thing is that we will get out of the hall earlier at 7 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock, and you can drop a game and still advance to the next day, which is super nice, because before it was, you're one and done, right? If
Right.
you lost a game, you were out of contention.
That's
and
it.
most people kept playing because they wanted to play Legion, but
Yeah.
it does also affect drops and stuff like that. So 64 move on to Saturday. They'll do it all again. They'll play 3 more rounds of Legion, and if you find you're suddenly out of contention, Matt, because the
What?
first
Wait,
day did not
what?
go so well for you,
Yeah. Hmm.
we will simultaneously be using those other 32 tables for an unconventional warfare 3-round event.
There we go.
So very much in the vein of what we did in 2020, there'll be a light versus dark unconventional warfare event. That's the one with the special list building requirements
Mm-hmm.
and the perks that you get throughout the day. So you've got, you lead from the front, where you can take 3 to 5 commander and operative units. So rebel players, I'm looking forward to seeing every single hero you own on the table. Or you can take the overwhelming firepower roster with 3 heavy units, triple AAT coming your way.
Wow.
You mean triple AA5? Oh my god.
Or triple the triple party bus, and
Yes,
each is
The circus is coming to
themed.
town.
Yeah. Oh man, wouldn't that be cool if you rolled up with your AA5s and you have a little soundboard, so it's like with Wookiees as jesters and stuff like that. Oh my god,
one of those
that'd be
trucks
awesome.
better be funnel cake.
Yeah.
So we'll have on Saturday, we'll have the main event continuing with 64 players, and an unconventional warfare event with 64 players. And then on Sunday, the top 8 from Saturday will advance and play 3 more rounds, so we can get a final winner. And then at the same time, we'll have a 2-round doubles event, because doubles is the best.
Doubles is
yes.
the best.
Doubles was very fun last LVO.
And we wanted doubles to return, and we really did want it to be like a relaxed, laid back romp. And so I think we're going to go with 600 point a player.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Yeah.
So you'll have a 1,200 point army on either side with 3.5 hours per round.
Ooh, there you go.
So
Nice.
lots of time for you to enjoy your game, sit back, relax, and throw your dice. And I think that'll be nice. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that'll be a nice cap to the weekend. It means that we'll have 128 on the first day, 128 on the second day, and there'll be 64 plus 8 on the last day. So we'll have, near 300 people probably by the time it's all said and done. Obviously some repeats, but still, 300 seats that have been sold for a Legion event.
Hell,
Which is-
yes.
That's just really cool. To approach those kind of numbers, that's when we're really talking, really talking business here.
Yeah.
Getting those kind of numbers.
Speaking of those numbers, I'm doing some quick maths here. 128 players. That's going to be a bunch of tables.
Mm-hmm.
How
It is
I know that we
64.
had, the BF. He had his traveling cadre of tables. But are we actually increasing the number of tables we'll be sporting during an event from the previous one, or is it going to be about the same?
No, I think the last one was 32 tables for the main event,
Oof.
and then there was 16 tables for the doubles event. So the Saturday we had 48 tables. So yes, we're actually going up 12 additional tables, 16 additional tables. Yes, to answer your question, we have to get a total of 64 tables for the Las Vegas Open. Now, one of the other fantastic things is that we have been able to get some terrain made over this last year, which has been very, very helpful.
Oh, good.
I've increased my personal inventory at home from like 2 to like I'm going to be at like 12 tables by the end of July.
Wow.
Which is nice. So I've got it looks like I'll be at like 13 tables by the end of July, and then Brendan's got his like 20 or so. So we're at like 33 tables. So we're at like just over half before we think about anything else, which means that we still need like 32 tables for us
That's
to
a
make
lot
this
of
event
tables.
happen. Which is a lot of tables. And so, as you know, as always, I put it out to the Legion sphere as we get closer to the event. Once tickets are sold and the dust is settled, I will be looking for your terrain. The Vegas locals know it. I always use lots of stuff from nearby, but for you, the greater Legion community, especially for the West Coasters that are driving, or maybe even the Mad Lads from further east that might be driving as well, get in contact with me because we love having community stuff. We love seeing what you guys make and put together, and we're going to need it for this year to make this thing happen. We're going to need it Thursday night so it can be ready to go for Friday. And so, like I said, when the dust settles and we sell those tickets, probably going to be late June or so, like we usually do, I will be on the lookout. So be on the lookout for, a post calling for terrain. I'll make something on the Legion Discord. I'll make something on Reddit. And the what is it? The LVO Legion Facebook page has been converted to Frontline Gaming Star Wars Legion. So I'll be putting a post out there as well because we decided to unify that page with all the events we have going on this upcoming year. So be on the lookout for that because we will need it.
Yeah, so if you're one of those people that is thinking about or working on building a table and you might be in a position to be able to travel with it, definitely, hey, put in some extra time there, buddy. Do us all a solid. Come show off your table the rest of the terrain. What about Star Tours, Dan?
Oh, of course. Star Tours has always been at your disposal, LJ.
Hasn't Star Tours improved over this last year? Didn't I see some Rex figures and some other little goodies that you've added on?
Of course, I always say not as much as I'd like. But yes, it has had a lot of additions.
He's actually got to the point where he's got his crate that he brings along with him to set it up, and he's leaving stuff in the crate. So I'm seeing a second Star Tours maybe in the future.
Yeah, maybe a little side skirmish table too.
Yeah, no, I have been pushing myself to make stuff because I teach, as I'm sure many people know. I've said it a bunch of times. I do teach in middle school, and currently I teach a technology program. And I forgot that I had asked my assistant principal to buy me some 3D printers. And so when we got back to in-person school about a month ago, I started 3D printing like crazy. And the last 3 weeks or so, I've printed 2 full sanctuary tables from The Mandalorian.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
And I am so excited for those to like finally hit LVO. I'm probably gonna bring them to SoCal too.
Oh,
but
nice.
like you've got like the round, thatch like wooden buildings. You've got pools which are difficult area terrain that doesn't provide any cover, which is something you don't see very much. Those little pools.
Yeah.
Erect ATST that Graham's gonna paint up in Raider style.
I was gonna say you gotta have the ATST in there.
There's some destroyed Razor Crest wings in there. There's so much on that table that I am so excited to see how he paints up because Graham the master is handling that for me. and I can't freaking wait to use those tables. So we've got some new snowy industrial tables that I put together that I'm excited for. We've got the Mando tables. Legion Terrain is giving us 5 tables that is going straight. That's actually going straight to Lone Star. So you're gonna see that before I see it, because
I'll be taking pictures.
It's like Lone Star's up to like 50 players.
Woo.
If you did not know.
I did not, actually.
Yeah, they've been doing fantastic in ticket sales. So like, I was like, oh, like how can we help our homies over there out? And so we just diverted the order that Legion Terrain was making for us straight to Texas.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're going to get that probably by the end of this month, and then my friend Dean's going to drive it back from Texas, which, say hi to Dean if you see him. He'll probably be rocking the droids there.
Nice.
And he's going to bring that back to me so I can have it at LVO. So I'm really excited because they're providing 5 thematic tables to us, and as usual, they're themes that haven't even hit the store yet. So you're going to see some really nice stuff from Legion Terrain there too that I'm really excited about.
Well, good on those guys. I'm glad that they're able to keep supporting, the scene, the tournament scene, with their very fine products. I've actually got some of their terrains being printed for me right now, and hopefully I'll have my table put together. Definitely should be in time for LVO. But man, Dan, are you excited for Legion? Do you feel it boiling within your blood?
I mean, yeah, I've got 244 days to get Star Tours finished. But
it's done. It's good,
yeah,
dude.
No,
it's fine.
like, there's some of our Outrider crates I haven't painted and things like that. But yeah, but no, the swag situation for LVO, are we still just as good as 21? Well, what was supposed to be 21?
Well, and that's the nice thing too about 21 not happening and us conveniently forgetting to put years on everything.
Wow.
Is some of the stuff that was ready for that, all the silhouettes that 6-Up Supply printed for us, some of that like side swag that we were like getting ready to go, it's all just rolling over. So hopefully it'll be even more than we had previously.
Nice. All right. Well, dude, thank you again so much for taking all this time to bring us up to date on all things exciting in the tournament circuit for Legion. Where can people find you on the socials, other than the Discord you run and Facebook that you're always on,
and the rules forum that
rules forum that you post in and create rulings?
Oh my gosh, yep. You can find me on the Discord sphere as Talk Polite. I am on there on the Legion Discord, on Yavin Base, on probably other things that I don't even remember. I'm on, on Facebook as the same name, LJ Peña. I'm there, scraping my way around as per usual, answering questions on the Atomic Mass Games rules forums. Please go check that out, folks. That is such a good resource. I'm there as Talk Polite as well. And, we'll probably be, I'll keep rocking the Frontline Gaming Star Wars Legion socials as well. I've yet to convert over that on Instagram, on Twitter, but I think we're going to do that as well so we can really keep the media pumping out. But Frontline Gaming, Star Wars Legion, FLG Star Wars Legion, I'm on those as well. And we're going to continue to expand that avenue so people can really see the growth. Not just talk about it, but we want people to be able to see it as time goes on.
Heck
and we
yeah.
keep this pain train a-rolling.
And you can always look for the clone trooper that likes soup avatar.
Oh yeah,
that I think you've adopted.
Such a good idea. I love that. And then and I can't forget, you can find me on all of Team Relentless's socials as well.
Of course,
pulling the strings and keeping things moving over there.
All right. Well, thanks again, buddy. We're gonna go wrap up the show, but thank you so much for your time, and make sure that Dylan has the happiest birthday.
I will tell him that the Legion community has always been so supportive of the personal life that I attempt to maintain on top of doing all this stuff. And, I think actually more than anybody, Emily's looking forward to LVO because she is like staff manager now.
She's the best.
And she might be in charge of, the old Matt there this time.
Hey, that's boss me around. That's fine. That's what I'm here for. And honestly, I think she would be terrifying and effective. I'm looking forward to this.
Can't wait.
All right. But that'll do it for, I think this turned into a kind of a supersized episode, so hopefully everybody stuck with us there. Any final thoughts on everything we heard, Dan?
Oh, my brain is overflowing.
It is. I got a lot to digest
yeah.
here. And it's an exciting time to be in Legion, so... Thank you, of course, to all of our Patreon members that are allowing us to do what we're doing here and talking to amazing people in the community like LJ. And we'll be back in about a fortnight here. Dan, of course, we can find you on the Discord.
Yep, as Outrider Dan, floating around usually in the Imperial Salt Mines. I forgot to thank LJ for whoever changed that.
Oh, I'm sure you can shoot him a message later. And, of course, you can find me on Twitter at grn_Archer or on Twitch at Captain_Archer. Otherwise, we will see you guys again real soon. Well, hopefully you'll hear from us here again real soon. Take care, everybody.
This concludes the current episode of the Legion Outriders podcast. You may cultivate a tactical advantage by observing the Outriders on Facebook or Twitter at Legion Outriders. Wisdom advocates subscribing to the podcast. Acting otherwise is reckless.
Yeah.
Looks like they're grinding something.
Yeah. They like to bump and grind. Check. 1, 2. Check.
Nothing wrong with the little bump and grind.